You shot Dad.
What was that?
I think it was a person.
The universe has a tendency to point in the right direction.
Yes.
Guys, my Negro spider senses is tingling. It's not the Soul Train, guys.
Father figures.
So Owen Wilson and Ed Helms is trying to find out who their daddy is in Father Figures. And what did I think about it? Well, let's get into it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Father Figures. I really do appreciate it. But before we get into the review, help your boy out by clicking that subscribe button. Also click the bell so you can be notified when I make uploads, and also give me that thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. So now we have Father Figures. It stars Owen Wilson and Ed Helms. Of course, you know Owen Wilson from Cars. You also know him from Night at the Museum, and you also know him from Wedding Crashers. Then you have Ed Helms, who really got popular with the Hangover trilogy, especially #1, because 2 and 3 were just okay. He also did We're the Millers and also did the Vacation reboot. This movie is being directed by Lawrence Sher, and this is his directorial debut, so it's his first time directing. And I can probably, it's pretty obvious that this is his first time too. And what this movie is about is that Owen Wilson and Ed Helms are brothers. They are twins. They are fraternal twins. And they kind of find out that their mother has been lying to them for the whole time, for a majority of their life, about who their alleged deceased father is. And so they go on a road trip to try to discover who he is based on the clues that his mother gave them. Now this movie is Now this movie is being marketed as a comedy, and as far as it just being a comedy, there were a few laughs, but it was just a few. And I was just kind of watching watching the screen with or watching the film with the still face, just kind of like, okay, when am I going to laugh more? Because I just wasn't pretty much laughing this whole time. I didn't enjoy this film too much because it was just pretty bland. It was pretty boring, and I only chuckled a few times. I really didn't care about the characters either, especially coming from Ed Helms. Owen Wilson was kind of a free-spirited kind of brother and really didn't take things seriously, but always was successful, always was able to, turn a couple of cents into a few dollars. And I respect that. But, his brother was kind of bitter of that. And that was just kind of one of the things that turned me off from Ed Helms' character, because of his jealousy, because he was somewhat childish. And he was just pretty much a jerk to me, and always would come up with things and say the wrong things at the exact wrong time. I mean, he was just a selfish character. So when you have a movie that centers on these two characters and you really don't like both of them for the most part, it's really hard to get behind the film. And it's like I said, I don't like Ed Helms' character. It's not like I didn't really, Owen Wilson's character was okay, but the relationship that they had between each other, they just didn't seek anything. They didn't think anything through, and that was just annoying to me. And, there was a number of cameos that popped up in this film, like Terry Bradshaw, Ving Rhames, Christopher Walken, and J.K. Simmons. And they all had a decent part to play. And I just said cameo, but they all had a decent part to play in the film. And each time they popped up, I kind of got a chuckle here and there. But when Owen Wilson and Ed Helms was going on their venture around the country or around the stateside to try to figure out who their father was, I just kind of found the whole scenario unrealistic and, not making any logical sense. I'm just kind of sitting there watching it, just saying to myself, okay, if I was in these guys' shoes, I would be doing the exact opposite of what they were doing to try to find out who my father is. Now, of course, I know who my father is. I've known who my dad is all my life. We grew up in the same household as a family. So it's at the same time, I try to sympathize. I try to empathize with somebody that does not know who their father is, or that may have passed away, when they was a young child. So when you find out that, your real father may be out there, okay, you may be a loose cannon running through things, not really thinking it through. So I did try to take that into consideration. But at the same time, these are two grown men that are well in their 40s, almost 50s. It's not like they're in their 20s or, their teenage years or anything like that. So, given especially Ed Helms' profession, I just kind of thought that he should have thought through the process a little more. And it seems like he didn't. And and that this film was just looking for reasons to keep the film going, to stretch the plot, which came in at 2 hours, to be exact, 1 hour and 53 minutes. And so, I mean, I really didn't like the relationship. I didn't like how they handled the situation. Also, some of the dialogue when they were trying to make the jokes, a lot of the jokes that were in the trailers was still funny, and but for the most part, that was it. And dialogue that other characters that I named earlier, like Terry Bradshaw, Ving Rhames, etc., when they are telling certain stories from back in the past, talking about another character, which I don't want to mention here because I don't want to spoil it for you. They were trying to make jokes, but just in a realistic situation, somebody would have just stopped them in their tracks. Like, okay, hey, I'm not going to let you talk about this certain person like this. I get it. I understand, and they just kind of let it go on and on and on. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And there was this one scene in particular towards the end when they were at a wake because someone passed away, and the whole thing fell apart completely. I'm just like, dude, say this, say that. Why are you acting this way? But they just had to come up with some kind of conflict to throw a wrench into the plot to try to make it, that more palatable, just to make it that more satisfying. But it just didn't work. But guys, I really didn't enjoy this film. I got a few chuckles. Cat Williams popped up as well. But this is not anything that I would recommend or say that you need to rush to the theater and see. At the very best, I could say that, rent this or treat it as a matinee, but it is something that I would not want to see again myself. If I had to rate Father Figures out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 5 out of 10. Yes, a 5 out of 10. But guys, that's just my opinion. Have you seen Father Figures, or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And if you don't, that's fine. Subscribe to my channel. Also go to my website, check me out there, and look me up on social media. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All that good stuff is right there at the bottom of the screen. And there's a link down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Father Figures. And also, I almost forgot to mention this. This was originally titled Bastards, but they decided to change the title of the film 3 months before it was being released. But thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Father Figures, directed by Lawrence Sher. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.